Here
You'll
we
have too
go.
much fun.
We are live. Yes. Ring Kings podcast is back. Man, what a night of boxing. Two
Yes.
big matches, very entertaining. Well, a little controversial in my opinion. A little controversial, but we're going to talk about it. Great
I
fight.
bet you can't guess which one.
yeah, one not so much. But yes, Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano and Oscar Valdez versus Shakur Stevenson. Those are the two headliners for tonight. We're going to talk about it. Which one do you guys want to talk about first?
We'll start off with Shakur and Valdez, I think.
Okay, yeah. We'll start with that.
Less to say about that one.
Yeah, well, and shout out to our Q-Son Boyd, man, coming through. Said, told you, fam, Shakur with the masterclass. Yeah, we all picked Shakur here.
Yeah.
Looked like Floyd and Canelo too. Did y'all see Canelo's face? Shaking my head. Yeah. Valdez had nothing for him. The plan for Valdez was to try to get close enough to land his left hook. You know, put the same left hook that put Burchelt out. But Shakur was never going to let him get that close to him. And he used his jab all night to keep him off his body. And once he realized that wasn't going to work, Valdez had nothing. He literally had nothing. I mean, he's all heart for sure, but he didn't have anything for him. So, all right. I mean, look. Yeah. I mean, let's start off. I mean, look, let's start with you, Mikey, because you were tweeting round for round your scorecard. So what are your thoughts on it?
Schooling. I mean, Shakur, like Stevenson, he schooled him, man. He schooled him. He's just that much better. Like, he showed he was that much better than a good fighter. Like, Valdez is a good fighter, a champion. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And he schooled him, man.
He was undefeated.
He's
a very good fighter.
Yeah. I mean, to me, it wasn't close. I think I ended it with my final score was 8-4. And that was being nice. Because it could have easily been 9-3, 10-2.
I think I gave him like 3 rounds. Yeah.
I gave him that last round. You know, Shakur was playing around a little bit, but like Raquan said, Raquan, yeah. He said masterclass. Yeah. Masterclass, man.
Yeah, I ended up with it 10-2. I gave him the last round also because Shakur was just running, and he was trying to get to the final bell. Valdez, I gave him the second round where he was kind of throwing the lead right and getting inside and landing to the body a bit, but Shakur shut that down immediately. In the third round, and too fast, a little too strong, too good defensively. And Valdez wore the result of that fight on his face afterwards. Like you can look at him and see what exactly went down in those 12 rounds. Like Mr. Boyd saying here, Shakur is, when you look at that division or that area of boxing, that lightweight area, you got a lot of really talented young fighters. You're talking about Teofimo, you got Devin Haney, several other guys down there. Shakur is the one truly, truly special fighter at that weight. And he showed it tonight.
Oh, my bad. It's Rockson. Pronounced Rockson. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Rock for short. We'll call you Rock. Okay. I've been calling you Rock Q-Son for forever. My bad. The Q is capitalized. That's why. My bad.
Thanks for clearing that up for us.
Yeah, thank you. All right. Rock son. We got you from now on. We'll call you Rock. Sweepy Bands, what's going on? Says that was a beatdown. Damn. Remind me of Floyd performance. That's exactly what Rock was saying.
Yeah, and it's true because that's what Floyd would do, with two very good or great fighters. Yeah. They would get in the ring with Floyd and they would look below average. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what you saw tonight. I mean, he was landing at will, and granted, I think they should have taken a point away from him for sticking his hand in Valdez's face constantly all night. They were warning him all night.
And they warned him. Yeah.
And, over and over and over. And never took a point, but it wouldn't really have made any kind of difference. But yeah, it's just a great performance from Shakur.
Now, what do you guys think of the knockdown? I thought it was a clean knockdown. Valdez was very upset about that, and I think that kind of took him out of his game a little bit in that round. Yeah, it was a balanced shot, but obviously he wasn't hurt. But I mean, look, you lunged in, you got hit, you fell against the ropes, and then you got hit again, and it went down. So I mean,
that was in round 6. I felt like it was a clean knockdown, but I understand why he was upset, right? Because what happened is he lunged in, he did get hit, but he got tripped also. And he tripped and fell into the ropes. He tripped over Stevenson's foot, and he fell into the ropes. He's kind of spun around. He was squatting down, and Stevenson was right on him and hit him again. The punch didn't land cleanly, but it knocked him off balance, and he went down. I felt like once he fell into the ropes, the ref should have kind of stepped in and let him get back up. But as it played out, it was a clean knockdown.
And it wasn't as egregious as that one fight. What was that fight on the undercard of the Fury fight where the guy stuck his body out the ring?
Yeah. I can't remember
he still got knocked out.
Yeah, that was bad.
That was bad. Shout out to Ravens Online Ungatekeepers, man. It said Ring Kings Podcast. Y'all the real MVPs. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
No, y'all are the MVPs that's up with us this time of night.
That's right. Facts. Sweepy Man says clean knockdown to me. He wasn't hurt, but the punch knocked him off balance and the ropes kept him up.
Yeah, it was flash knockdown. I mean, B, you explained it perfectly. He off balance. The punch knocked him off balance. It was a little. He did trip over, I believe, Stevenson's feet.
Mm-hmm.
But nonetheless, I agree that it was a knockdown. I also agree with Rock or whoever in here. No, Sweepy Bands, who said he wasn't hurt. But hey, it was a knockdown, man. Listen, either way, knockdown or not, you got your butt whipped, bro. You got your butt whipped.
Clean.
So clean. It was a clean, smooth, a whipping, and that wasn't gonna swing it either way. That just took it over the top. But
right.
It was clean and smooth.
Rock says, stop lunging.
Yeah.
That's what I saw, and I think that's what made him a little hesitant after that was, he had a plan of being aggressive and going at him, but after that lunge, he's just like, all right, I gotta be cautious because he's quick, and if he catch me with a punch and I fall down, that's a knockdown. I think that made him a little bit cautious after that.
Yeah, and it's easy to say stop lunging, but he's a smaller fighter. He cannot survive a fight on the outside with Shakur Stevenson. He had to get inside, and he just wasn't really able to. Stevenson kept the jab in his face all night. He was landing combinations at mid range. I mean, with precision accuracy. I mean, and hard punches. So he was having a really difficult time trying to get inside. It's kind of like what we saw with Bud Crawford and Sean Porter, right? Like after a while, like he just literally started jumping in because his arms weren't long enough. He couldn't get to Bud, and he was like, I got to get inside somehow.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it was very frustrating for Valdez, but he was just outclassed tonight.
Yeah. I mean, he showed it in the first round too, and that was the thing. Like with a fighter like Stevenson, I mean, I everybody knew that was his plan, right? But I think he tipped his hat a little too soon. I think in the first round it was twice where he kind of tripped or fell, kind of fell over because he lunged twice in that first round. He seemed a little antsy to me, while Stevenson was calm and cool. But a smart fighter like that, a fighter that's playing chess while you playing checkers, you tip your hat like that, especially that early, man. He gonna pick you apart, and it was alluded to in the chat, man, that reminded you of a performance of Floyd, man. Like Floyd, he might take a round or two, sit back, see what you're gonna do, and then after that, it's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
And I think Valdez, he helped Stevenson with that early in this fight. Like I said, with them two early lunges where he kind of fell over himself. He was real antsy in that first round, and I think Stevenson took that and took him and ran it with it and took it to his advantage, man.
Yeah. Shout out to Plug Cap says, I just want Wilder to come back. Wilder's gonna be he said he's not done. So I mean, we'll see what his next fight's gonna be.
Rumor is him and they're negotiating with Andy Ruiz. So Ruiz.
Okay.
So
All
yeah.
right. Shout out to Ferris, man. Ferris in the house says that was an ass whooping. It was, man. Jeez.
Rock says that WBC ordered Wilder to fight the winner of the two Brits.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. We'll see. Super Vance wants to know how we feel about Shakur versus the winner of Haney and Kambosos.
Right now, at this point, I think he's far enough along in his career that if you ask me Shakur versus anybody, I'm taking Shakur.
Yeah. He's still pretty young too.
Yeah.
And Plug Cap, we just talked about this. He says, "How do you feel about Shakur putting the glove on the head?" B thinks he should have had a point taken away, and I agree with that. He did way too much. He got warned too many times. Do you think a point should have been deducted? I see people arguing that. Yeah, they should have taken the point away. It wouldn't have mattered. It wouldn't have mattered. Because that was, it wasn't necessary for him to do that. I think he was doing that just to get under his skin more than anything. But it didn't really make a difference. But yeah, I would have taken a point away.
Rock saying when you got smoke, it's easy to close the distance, like the little Mexican Tyson did Tank Davis. Tank's not nearly the boxer that Shakur Stevenson is. He's not. He's just not. And he didn't have the kind of size advantage over
honestly
that Shakur had over Valdez.
But honestly, like that, like Shakur had a major reach advantage. Like he's just a bigger fighter, so it's easier. And honestly, like in that Tank Davis fight, Tank showed me more skill than his previous fights because he broke his hand and he had to just outbox a guy that was that aggressive, and he didn't have a clear reach advantage over him, right? So I give Tank more credit for his skills of recent. Like he that was the first time I saw him. He had to actually just outbox the other guy because he was just, his hands were too hurt to actually go out there and put him away. So Tank got a little something in there. He got a little something there.
Tank he can box. I agree with B. I don't think he's as skilled as Stevenson, but if they ever fought, man, you talking about speed on speed.
I don't know if
it would clash.
Tank's a little heavier, right?
Yeah,
no, they could fight. Tank is still a champ at 135. He's still fighting between 135 and 140. Shakur having some trouble making 130. I think this is probably going to be his last fight there. Okay. I think he's ready to move up. So he'll be right in that mix. I don't think that he'll fight him like anytime soon, really.
Right.
But they're at that weight. They'll be able to get in there.
Okay. Let's see. So it's that Teofimo. I'm sorry, you're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna read it real quick. So it's a Teofimo loss. That would have been the only competitive fight for Shakur, in my opinion. There's a lot. I think him and Devin Haney's a competitive fight.
Let me tell you something about Teofimo, though. He lost to George Kambosos, so I'm not sure how competitive that would have been.
Look, man, Lomachenko there. I think that'd be the next fight to for them to make. They're both top-ranked fighters, right?
Yeah. Ferris asking, what's the issue with that glove on the head? Can someone explain that to me? Is it illegal or just annoying?
Yeah, it's
illegal. You're blocking the vision.
You can't hold it out. You can if he just kept on jabbing, he even had to bring his hand all the way back. If he just kept on just kind of jabbing like that, that's legal. When you hold it out, it's called polling or something like that. You're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to do that.
So I think we should, before we talk about Taylor and Serrano, there were a couple of prospect fights. I actually missed Ammo Williams and Nico Ali Walsh.
Did you know? Guys, did you know? Fun fact. Did you know Nico Ali Walsh is the grandson of Muhammad Ali? You didn't know that? Well, ESPN and Top Rank is going to let you know that every single time there's a boxing event. Nico Ali Walsh is the grandson of Muhammad Ali. And if you didn't know that still, they will let you know on his way to the ring, in the ring, and he'll let you know on his boxing shorts that he is the grandson of Muhammad Ali. Okay.
Yeah.
But he definitely does not want to use his grandfather's name to further his career. So stop that. All right.
Oh, baby.
What's up, Jalen?
Yeah.
It's not a dumb rule. You're obscuring their vision.
Yeah.
I like, it's not a dumb rule, but I feel like if that's gonna be illegal, which it is, then that grabbing of the glove has to be illegal too. Like,
I agree.
It's like that's legal for him to grab his glove as he's sticking it out there, but me holding it out there and that's illegal. I'm all for it being illegal.
No, I agree with that. I thought that wasn't illegal. I didn't know you can do that.
Yeah,
I didn't know you can do that.
It was one of the first times I've ever seen that. So
yeah.
So yeah, I missed the Ali. Did you guys see Nico Ali? He won by first round knockout.
I watched it.
It was a pretty impressive knockout, I guess.
Yeah, it was like it was a right hook. I think it was like a right hook.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good knockout.
He set him up. I mean,
he did.
He's supposedly under a new trainer, and according to Tim Bradley and those guys, you can see the difference. So it was a nice setup. He set him up.
He did.
Yeah, it was a nice combination punch that he set up.
And that guy relaxed himself because it was right at the end of the round. You had the 10-second tap, and he kind of calmed down a little bit. And credit to Nico, he didn't let up. So
yeah.
I give him a little bit more credit now, man. But
hey, Ferris, do you think they should be able to poke people in the eye in MMA?
Right. Well, what about bite them? Can I just jab him with my thumb? It's a fight, Yeah.
So I missed Austin Ammo Williams. He also won by first round knockout. So continuing his journey up the ranks. He's a middleweight. I've seen him fight previously. He's a pretty impressive fighter. I mean, he's not all the way there yet, but just somebody to keep your eye on. Why is it different? It's a fight.
Yeah, it's not different. It's not different.
But the one that we really wanted to mention was Keyshawn Davis.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
who moved to 5-0 with 4 knockouts, and I mean, the guy could not look more polished in there with just 5 fights under his belt.
Man, he was killing that dude with his jab.
He's special, and he could have ended that fight a lot sooner than it ended. Yeah. But you could see, like, he kind of started to play around, but then it was like, okay, I'm not going to end it yet. Let me get some more of this work in.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
It had that feel like, all right, you know what? I could drop this dude, but I'm not. So let me see. Let me let this go a little longer. Let me work on this. Let me show this. Let me do this. But he started at the end, he started playing around.
He landed 4 straight left hooks on this dude, and just vicious left hooks.
Yeah.
I mean, I was looking for the ref to jump in a little earlier than he did, but man, I mean, just a brilliant performance from Keyshawn. So I'm very excited to see where he goes from here.
It really is a good nickname, Ammo. Yeah. Yes. You can say he was playing with his food a little bit, but honestly, like, I think that's what young, talented fighters like that have to do sometimes. Like, I think that's what's kind of hindering Berlanga. We talked about Berlanga is that he's going in there just knocking him out right away. Like, yes, we know you can knock him out. Your corner knows you can knock him out, but like, there's some things that you have to work on. So don't just go for the punch that you know is going to put him down. Work on the other things that we need you to hone your skills on. And I think that's what they told Keyshawn Davis, and he followed those directions. So yeah, sometimes it looks like, oh well, why are they playing with him? Why you put him away? Because if you put him away, you don't get any good work, right? Yeah. You're fighting against somebody. Yes, he's a lesser competition, but he's still, a game fight. Well, he's still somebody that's trying to beat you. So go in there and work on the things that we talked about, and then you have plenty of time to put them away. That's not, you're controlling the fight. So I'm dominant performance. Yeah.
And this guy was a step up. I mean, this guy was 18-1, so he wasn't, he wasn't a bum. Keyshawn, I think Keyshawn is just that good. And the interesting thing is, it appears that they're fast tracking him, I guess, along the same track that they did with Lomachenko. So we'll see, man. We'll see what
That's
happens.
that's a dangerous thing to do. We were just talking
It
about a
is.
little earlier, Bektemir Melekuziev,
Yeah.
who was kind of being fast tracked as well. I believe he was 8-0 when he got in with Gabriel Rosado and ended up face down under the ropes and a meme online all night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it is very dangerous. And it's interesting that it appears that Top Rank is allowing him to kind of decide the route that he wants to go. Right? We see them slow walking a couple other guys. I can't think of the guy's name, but he fought on Belenga's card.
Zayas?
Zayas.
Oh,
Yes.
Zayas, yeah.
Yeah, they kind of slow walking him, which they
He's only
should.
19.
Yeah, which they should. But they kind of it appears they letting Keyshawn decide.
Well, yeah, Keyshawn's a little bit older as well. He's 24.
Yeah.
He just doesn't have as many fights. But yeah, I mean, Zayas is very, very, very young. So I mean, I can understand why they want to push Keyshawn a little bit. And I mean, look, he's got the skills to back it up too, to justify it.
I mean, honestly, like 24, that's still young. I mean, you
It is.
You know, you can give him a good 3 years before you really want to, push him. You know, he can rack up a few fights and a lot of experience in that time. Like, there's no need to rush these guys, in my opinion. I hope they don't, but Bob Arum, who knows, especially with the black fighter.
Yeah.
So your advance Keyshawn Davis looked amazing, reminded me of Bud Crawford a little bit. Bo Mack is going to have 2 champions soon.
Okay.
All right.
So, with that said, I mean, again, just great performance from Keyshawn. Glad that he was supposed to be on the card a few weeks ago with Berlanga and Zayas, but he was sick. They moved it back. But always nice to see the prospects performing up to expectations. But moving on to the main event of the evening, Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano in Madison Square Garden, the biggest female boxing match in history, also with $1 million bet between the two promoters, Eddie Hearn and Jake Paul.
Yeah.
And I mean, it lived up to all of the hype. It was an incredible fight.
Yeah. Look, man, yes. Great fight. Where do we even start, man? Like the first couple rounds, it looked pretty even. I had Serrano. I had Serrano winning points early. Katie Taylor was backing up a lot, but she had some good counters and everything. But Serrano was just the more aggressive fighter. And when she hurt Katie Taylor, I thought it was over. But I was like, man, Katie Taylor, what a warrior. I was like, man, she's gonna go out on her shield, because when Serrano was knocking the sense out of her, she didn't back up anymore. She just kept on going forward. She's like, all right, we're gonna do this. I mean, then this how I'm gonna go out. This is how I'm gonna go out. But she went forward and kept on swinging. And but she turned it around after that, man. I think Serrano took her foot off the brake a little bit, off the pedal a little bit. And Katie Taylor, jumped on her for a couple rounds, but I thought Serrano took the fight back over towards the end, and they finished with the bang, man. They finished swinging, and I know B, you had it a draw. I had Serrano winning, but a split decision for Katie Taylor in itself, I wouldn't call a robbery. I call that scorecard a robbery, right?
Scorecard was terrible.
The one was a 97 to 93 or something like that. No. What were you looking at? What were you looking at? The other ones I can live with. Not that big of a margin for Katie Taylor. I can't. That didn't sit well with me. But a great fight.
Yeah, that scorecard was horrible. But nonetheless, man, shout out to the ladies, man. They not only headlined a major fight, championship fight, they put on a great show when a lot of people don't think that they could or didn't think that they could. I think when they fight again, it's going to be just as big, if not bigger. Yeah. They might even, these. I feel like when they put on the when part 2 happens, I feel like these other companies, these other promotional companies got to make sure there's no other fights on that night, because I think that they could clearly steal the show. Good thing it was staggered, You know what I mean? Because they might have took some viewers from Stevenson and Valdez.
Much better fight than Stevenson and Valdez.
Yes,
Much better. Yeah, I thought that Serrano really controlled the fight early. I believe it was the 5th round where she hurt Taylor and kind of cut her. Had her bleed. Well, she may have been bleeding from her nose, but she was bloodied up. And Serrano was landing some bombs, and it looked like Katie was gonna get out of there.
Yeah.
But like you said, to her credit, she kept coming forward. She kept swinging. She never went down.
Warrior,
she
Warrior.
regained her composure, and I think that the accumulation of punches is what kind of slowed Serrano down. I don't think that she intentionally took her foot off the gas. I think she started to fade.
Yeah,
started to wear out a bit. And she couldn't keep up the same pace. And I think that Taylor took over in the second half of the fight. Like I said, I thought it was a draw. A draw was a fair outcome there. I don't see how Katie Taylor would have won on 2 cards. It was either a draw or Serrano winning, just because of the rounds that she had banked early in the fight. But it is what it is, I guess, at this point. And hopefully we're going to see a rematch with these two.
Those quick rounds, man. I agree with Rock. If that was a 3-minute round, she was going out.
Yeah.
I don't like how they do that for women's fighters either. I don't like that. Just give them 3 minutes.
Well, there are some women's fighters who fight 3 minutes. I think it was, that's just kind of how it started. But you got to remember also they told the story at the beginning of the fight that it wasn't even legal for Katie Taylor to box in Ireland when she started.
That's an amazing story.
Yeah, she had to pretend to be a boy, and she had to fight. She had to fight boys and until it was legalized. But I think moving forward, as women get into boxing, they're just going to be 3-minute rounds. I think it's unfair to expect fighters who have fought their entire career and trained their entire career for 2-minute rounds to just switch over. So it's a thing I think that will kind of naturally die out over time.
Yeah. But man, that was big for women's boxing, man. That really helped progress the sport, because that crowd was electrifying, man. It was packed.
It was lit, man. Like
yes,
it was like you said, packed. They sold out. That's the Garden, man.
Yeah,
like that thing. It was packed, and I gave a slight edge to Serrano, but I would have been okay with the draw. Again, the margins on the cards were horrible, but I'll say this: what made it such a good fight is you had 2 different styles of fighters, right? Katie Taylor is a counter puncher, sit back, and then Serrano is she's pushing forward, you know what I mean? And I think that to the naked eye sometimes, and the judges can be swayed by what's going on behind them and the reaction and stuff like that. And I don't know, man. Usually the aggressive fighter, gets the lean on the card.
Yeah.
But there was some times where she's going in, Serrano's going in with her head down, and Taylor was picking her apart. But Serrano was clearly landing the heavier shots and the shots that had more effect on the boxer. So that card was bad. We saw with Jake Paul. He said it was a robbery. And shout out to him, man. I'm starting to like
shout out to Jake Paul, man. He made this happen. Listen. I'm starting to become a fan of this dude.
I'm starting to like this guy.
I'm a big fan, except for when I hear him speak. I don't like that. And he had Ryan Garcia with him there, and I'm like, these two definitely deserve each other. They sound like complete clowns when they talk. But to your point, the aggressive fighters usually get the benefit of the doubt, but Katie Taylor is the biggest name in the history of women's boxing. So I think that there was some of that hey, this is Katie. If it's close, probably going to Katie.
You got to dominate. Fights like that, big names, you got to dominate. You got to make it so that it can't sway either way. I actually had my wife watching the fight with me, and she was pissed. She felt like Serrano got robbed. And she didn't understand. She didn't understand the side of boxing where it's like, yo, listen, it may have looked a certain way, but it's not as lopsided as you may be seeing it. But I agree with you. Like what you're saying is not wrong. Serrano could have easily won that fight, and you wouldn't have been. Nobody would have been upset, right? But she was pissed. She felt like she got robbed. I'm not going to go that far, but that, like you said, Jose, you put it perfectly. That card robbed her. That's a shame. None of them should walk out of that ring feeling like they got dominated. And by that card, that's what that said. And that it shouldn't have. None of them should have left the ring feeling like that.
No, not at all. Not at all.
So yeah, not the GOAT. Claressa Shields disrespect. I said she's the biggest name in female boxing. And I think the fact that they had this kind of an event, selling out Madison Square Garden, headlining, going up head to head with Shakur Stevenson and Valdez and the UFC, speaks to that.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean we're more familiar with Claressa Shields over here. But Katie Taylor, I mean, she's from Ireland. Like internationally, she's probably more internationally known than Claressa Shields. At least for right now, Claressa Shields is still, ironing out her legacy.
You mean Claressa Shields, the MMA fighter? Because because she's not getting the attention and money in boxing.
Well, yeah. I mean, Katie Taylor wasn't either until this fight. I mean, let's be real about it. Women fighters don't make that much money.
But that's what I'm saying. But she is. But she did. Right.
Well,
and that's on the strength of her name.
Yeah. Well, I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying. I'm just saying Claressa Shields is still working on her legacy. She's still building her legacy. That's what I'm saying. She's more popular over here, obviously, because Americans don't pay attention to the rest of the world. Right.
Yeah. I'm not arguing with you. I'm just saying that Katie Taylor is the bigger name. Like that's
yeah. Now, who's a better fighter? That's different. Right. That's different. But no, man, like look, Claressa Shields was there. I mean, she was a fan. She's a fan. You know what I'm saying? So look, it is good for everybody. It's good for everybody that this fight happened.
You watched them Olympics, Ferris?
Right. Well, Ferris probably did. Yeah. Look, I hear you guys, man. Like, we're not saying she's a nobody, but we're just saying worldwide, because boxing is a global sport. Worldwide, who's a bigger name? It's Katie Taylor, right? It's Katie Taylor. And like I said, I'm not saying when it's all said and done, Claressa Shields won't surpass her, but you gotta look at everything. Like B said, I mean, Claressa Shields, I mean, she ain't selling out Madison Square Garden right now. In the future, maybe. And part of that is she's too dominant. There's nobody on her level.
Yeah, right? That's not her fault. Obviously, no. That's kind of she's a victim of circumstance in that sense. And again, I didn't say that Katie Taylor's a much better fighter than her. I said she's a bigger name.
Yes, yeah,
that's all.
Yeah.
Look, Ryan Garcia is a bigger name than most fighters, but he's not better than any of them. We had to do the Ryan Garcia references.
We got it though. At least one for sure. Yeah. But I mean, and listen, let's give Serrano credit though, because she moved up 2 weight classes for this fight, and to be in it, and possibly winning the fight, that says a lot, man, for her and how tough she is. So, but it was two warriors in there, warriors. It was a good scrap. They banged out, man, and it was hey, to me, that's a candidate for fight of the year, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
In my opinion. And I think when if they get it going again, I think it'll be big again. And I think shout out to Jake Paul, because he's not going to get as much credit as he should, but he's behind getting this fight going.
You know what? He was behind. He was the driving force behind.
Yes. Yes.
And Mikey, you said this on, I think it was our first podcast, that these boxing promoters they better
watch out.
Yeah,
they better watch out.
What I say, and Katie is just white, a great white hope with skills. No, she's not just that. She's a great fighter. She's a great fighter.
She's a good fighter, man.
And to your point, being white makes you more popular, right? That's what you're saying. So why are you arguing?
That's what B's saying. Like, don't confuse what B's saying. He's not saying she's the best fighter. she's the most popular fighter. And like you said, you can think she's a great white hype, but she's still more popular, right? Like that's the thing. Lomachenko is way more hype than a lot of these fighters. And he ain't the best fighter in his weight class, right? Teofimo proved that. But I mean, popularity versus who the actual best is isn't always the same thing. That's all be the same. But overall, it was great that this fight happened because it is putting women's boxing on the map. So now you can get more bigger fights in the future. People, aren't looking at it saying, "Oh, it's just a women's fight." I'm gonna look away. Like you can get a quality fight.
Yeah. So. And Rock, I think the word "just" in your comment kind of takes away from what you were trying to say. I get what you're trying to say. Like
it undercuts. That is an insult when you say it that way.
Yeah, I think you try to give her props as well, but underlining the fact that she's white. But yeah, the word "just" kind of undercuts what your point is. But I got you. I get what you're saying there.
Yeah. Nunes was negotiating a fight with Clarissa. They were talking about that. I think that's a bad idea in MMA or boxing. Nunes doesn't want to step in the ring with Clarissa Shields, and Clarissa Shields does not want to step in the octagon with Nunes. I think it's just a bad idea. Right? I don't think that should happen.
I think listen, Clarissa is on a collision course with another fighter. I can't think of her name.
Yeah, I forget her name.
A foreign fighter, but they listen. It looks like they'll be able to sell that fight because of the back and forth they doing on Twitter and social media, and they had some words in person that the last time that this young lady fought, and I can't remember her name. So she got a fight that's coming up that might do some numbers.
Let's be real. Jake Paul can reach a different audience than these other promoters. Eddie Hearn can't reach the audience that Jake Paul can. Even Mayweather. Mayweather is a damn good promoter, probably the best promoter out there right now. But like none of these promoters can reach the audience that Jake Paul can reach. He can promote in a different way. He can grab that younger audience. Man, look, Clarissa, holla at Jake Paul, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, get your money. Get your money.
Holla at Jake Paul, man.
And he promised Amanda that this was going to happen. He promised this on that the last time he fought. I guess it was when he fought Tyrone Woodley or whatever. Yeah. He said
when he put on that play acting performance.
Yeah. He said he was going to get her.
Thank you, Ferris. Savannah Marshall.
Yes. He said he would get her a top fight and get her paid well, and he did that. And other boxers are taking heed. They, like you said, if I was Shields and other women boxers, I would holler at this dude. He just signed a young talent out of LA, I believe. Ferris, quote me on that or fact check that for me, Ferris. But it's a young up and coming prospect, I believe, out of Compton. That just signed with Jake Paul. So listen, I'm not a fan of him in the ring and what he's doing and all of that, making it boxing entertainment. But he can make his mark in the behind the scenes with this promotion, and I think he will.
I mean, all right, 9 people in here. Make sure you hit that like button. If you are new here, hit the subscribe button. All right. And what's up, Derek? Did you say what's up to Derek already? What's up, D Weezy? Thanks for coming through. Yeah. Sorry, B. I cut you off. What were you gonna say?
Oh no, I was just saying it was the biggest payday in women's boxing history.
Yes.
It was the biggest fight literally that has ever happened in women's boxing.
I know Eddie Hearn would like to take most of the credit for that, but that was not Eddie Hearn.
No.
That was not Eddie Hearn that did that. Man, I thought that was great, and the fight lived up to the hype, man. I think that's great for Jessica McCaskill too.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And she had lost once to Katie Taylor, right?
Yeah.
I think that's her only loss. So look, Katie Taylor. The thing with Katie Taylor is she's 35 years old. I'm not sure. They're talking about before the fight that she's starting to decline a little bit. So I don't know how much longer she wants to keep doing it. But I would imagine if the checks are looking right, you know what I'm saying? That might happen.
Did you guys see the tweet from Oscar?
No, of course Oscar has a
He
book.
tweeted.
Hey,
He
look
just
at me, guys.
he tweeted and said Canelo Mayweather. So I mean, wasn't Canelo under his under his brand when he fought Mayweather?
Wait, was he trying to say Canelo Mayweather?
I feel like he's trying to say like that fight was like when Canelo fought Mayweather, like a wash.
Oh well, yeah, he is taking a jab at Canelo because Canelo left him, so now Canelo's dead to him, right?
Right.
Wow.
According, let's see here. Fighting on 1 million. Hold on. I'm having to look here. I'm looking at a thing saying that her biggest purse was 350,000. There's another thing here about a later fight.
Well, she got more than.
Go ahead.
I did it again. I called you a Q son. Roxanne said Clarissa was getting cut $1 million checks on Showtime. With Showtime. The lesbian chick in her camp messed her buzz up when she tried to fight that trainer. I don't remember that. But
look at my man Ferris. Look at my man Ferris.
There you go.
There you go, man.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. I don't think. I mean, look. I think Clarissa. I mean, her star's on the rise. You know, she's doing the right things, and I think she'll get there. Like I said, when you're that dominant, man, like it's hard. Like you're the only person. You're the only person, and there's no other names. Like Katie Taylor, was able to fight other good fighters, right, in her weight class. And Serrano was building up a buzz too, and also look, Jake Paul just knows how to hype things up. So, you know.
And you know what's tough in women's boxing? Like, just like I said earlier, right? Serrano had to move up 2 weight classes to make this fight happen.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the classes aren't as stocked with talent as it is in men's boxing. So they have to do these things in order to make these type of fights happen. But I feel like it was a win for women's boxing tonight. I think Shields. I mean, this is only going to help Shields in the long run and any other women boxing coming up with some talent. Yeah. So this was dope, man. It was a good fight, man. It was a great fight.
Yeah,
great fight.
That was. But just to be clear, Brock, what I'm seeing online is that she had a 2-fight deal that was going to pay her a little over $1 million. Both fighters in this fight got $1 million for this fight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, Amanda Serrano also fought in MMA. Yeah, she did in kickboxing. So she had a diverse fighting fan base. Yeah. That helped. So yeah. But amazing fight. One fight was an amazing fight. The other one was entertaining to watch. Stevenson just dominated a very good fighter in Valdez. So
one amazing fight, one amazing performance.
So what's next? What
is next? Next week is Canelo, right?
Well, I was gonna say,
what's next for these? What's next for Stevenson?
I think we want to see next? He moves up. And I'm going to say he tries to go directly to the winner of Kambosos and Haney is my guess.
Okay.
I did want to say that it's crazy that DAZN put on such a great show tonight with Taylor and Serrano, and immediately 1 week later throwing away all their goodwill by charging for a Canelo fight that they said they would never charge for.
I hate it, man. I hate it. I mean, like you already, like if you guys follow us, you already know how we feel about pay-per-view events. All right.
He says a big brawl just went down at the Stevenson Valdez fight.
Okay, shout out to Rebel Life Boxing. He has a YouTube channel as well. Make sure you hit subscribe over there as well. Okay, we got to look into that.
Why it ended so long ago?
Right. Fight between who? Between the two camps?
Yeah, I was about to say fans or the camps.
Listen, man, like when you get beat like that, the only thing you gotta do is just go straight to your locker room,
man. Go home, bro. Like, you know what? He's a better guy today. Like, I can't. It's nothing. Listen, I know bad blood, bro. You beat me up. I'm going.
Yeah. It is what it is, man. But yeah, Rock says the names that carry women's boxing: coal miner's daughter from West Virginia. Yeah. Christy Martin, Clarissa, Celia Brockus, Ali was all hype. They weren't all hype.
No, Cecilia Brackus was all hype.
Ali,
Christy Martin was not all hype.
she was not all hype, yo.
Not at all.
She did it. She did it the hard way, boy.
Right.
Like she hype. No. Ali wasn't hype either. Like they all put in that work. All put in that work, yo.
She was fine too, though.
Yeah, Chrissy Martin was fighting for like $10, yo. Like
right,
listen, she was not hype. She was a real deal.
She's a pioneer of women's boxing.
She still trains now. She has a gym out there in West Virginia.
Okay,
so,
no, okay, I see. He wasn't saying they were all hype. He said Layla Ali was all hype. My bad. Okay.
Tell that.
I mean, I don't agree that Layla Ali was all hype, but all right.
Tell that to Chrissy Martin's face because she beat the brakes off of Chrissy Martin. Chrissy Martin was like, nah, she was kind of nice. She was kind of nice, but they did hype her up. Yes, Roxanne. They did hype her up
just like they're doing with Nico.
Yes,
I don't know if you know this, but that's Muhammad's grandson.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I did not know that. I found out tonight.
I found out several times today.
It's disgusting how much they mentioned that he's a grandson of Ali. Like, come on, man. Chrissy Martin got shot. Yes. She got shot, dragged her bleeding body to the car, and drove to the hospital. Yeah,
that was crazy.
That's champion, right? That's champion.
And she fought like a few months later.
Yeah.
And then had a stroke, I think.
But since then, just look how far women's boxing has come, man.
Yeah. She's definitely a pioneer. Shout out to Christy Martin. Whew,
but
man.
you know what I want? I want to see Stevenson. I want to see him fight Josh Taylor. I want to see him beat him up.
Josh Taylor got to fight somebody.
And he didn't look good.
Disappointing in that.
He didn't look good at all. I think he lost that fight in my opinion.
I remember boxing, but you also got to remember, like, even by the time Ali came out, like this, like women's boxing still wasn't that. There weren't that many fighters. There weren't that many women to fight. Even for Christy Martin, there weren't that many women. That's why she wasn't fighting for much. But yeah. Yes, that's the thing. That's the thing about sports in general. You have to sell the sport. So boxing understands more so than MMA does that you have to, if you got somebody with talent that you think can be a champion, you have to sell them first. You can't just go out there and have them fight the best competition possible, because then they can lose, and then they lose their shine. Put them out there with some tomato cans, some easy people that they can look dominant against, and then they put on a show, and that's what people would remember. They're like, oh, you see when she knocked so and so out, this and that, and that's what they did with Layla Ali until she fought a real one in Christy Martin, and she beat the brakes off of Christy Martin. Like, she dominated her. So unfortunately, like there weren't any Clarissa Shields of that time, or there weren't like as many fighters back then. So like they had to fight who they had to fight, and they had to go up and down in weight, unreasonably so at times. So
so I see the tweet here from Mike Coppinger. It says, I just asked Shakur Stevenson at the press conference if he should now be on the pound for pound list. He answered, "What do you think?" and then bolted off the stage to attend a fracas that erupted outside the presser at MGM Grand. Presser still hasn't resumed. And I guess it never did. It says, apparently 2 women are accused of attacking Shakur Stevenson's mother, which abruptly concluded the news conference when Shakur rushed to her aid. Was unclear what was happening in real time. I'll tell you what, man, I would not try to attack the mother of one of the best boxers on the planet while they were within sprinting distance.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Wow.
Okay. So I'm sure we'll hear more about that.
Yeah. Roxanne, why didn't she fight Ann Wolf? Man, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Like she ducked her. I mean, Lucia Riker. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Like you know what I'm saying. Like these fighters, they're coming and going at different times. You know, I mean, did she duck her? I don't know if she ducked her. You know, um, but even still, like I said, Chrissy Martin was a real one. She beat Chrissy Martin. Like I had to go and look at all their records. Like did Ann Wolfe and Lucia Riker fight each other? I don't know. I have to go and look at it. Like I don't know. Like at the time, there weren't that many fighters, man. There weren't, and you know sometimes, unfortunately, the answer is the money wasn't right. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes
And I mean, I'm sorry, go ahead.
like especially for somebody like Layla Ali, and I know this is kind of to your point that she was kind of a hype job, but she was a good fighter. But she has more opportunities than those other fighters because of her name. So she's getting commercials, she's going to get TV gigs and stuff like that. And you know, guess what? Those pay a lot more than boxing. So
yeah, and like you're saying that Layla asked for $3 million to fight Clarissa. I mean, Layla's last fight was 9 years before Clarissa Shields debuted. I mean, what?
Yeah,
she's not just gonna hop in the ring.
Yeah. Okay. You clearly are not a Layla Ali fan. Ali pimped her dad's name and model. Look, man, like this is the sport. Like you do whatever you can to sell yourself in the sport. You know, I mean, you could say that, but I mean, a lot of fighters do that. A lot of fighters, you know, if they're legacy fighters, they're going off of their father, you know, the father's name.
Especially in a sport that doesn't have kind of that established fan base, it's extremely difficult to just come in and make it on your own. Women's boxing is not big. It hasn't been.
So what do you think about Shane Mosley Jr.? Like how you think he's still getting he's getting any kind of publicity, any kind of looks? Because of Shane Mosley, right? Like I mean that happens sometimes. I mean that's like I said, if she look, she's not Chavez Jr. right? Like she went out there and she dominated her opponents and she fought some good fighters. You could say she didn't fight all the best ones. Okay, so what? But I mean,
no one does.
Yeah, no one does. You can't always fight. You can't fight everybody.
No.
Yeah. Like Chavez Jr. Yeah. Although I suspect that Chavez Jr. was more forced to fight than him wanting to go out there and do that. You know, like Holyfield's son doesn't fight, right? He played football.
No,
Evan, I'm not sure.
He fought
Elijah is the
Elijah.
Oh, is it Elijah? Okay.
Yeah. Evan, I don't know what Evan does. Elijah Holyfield is a running back.
Yeah. So, all right. I mean, look, we not going to agree on that, but
Conor and Jake Paul went at it on Twitter.
Oh, what's Conor saying now? Conor want to fight Jake Paul?
Who the F is the jackass in the pink Jimmy Savile glasses? Jake Paul said, I'm the one who has done more for fighters than you ever have. The one who has won 5 fights in the past 2 years while you have lost 5.
Also the not incorrect.
Well, no, he said done more for fighters, not for himself.
Yeah. The one who isn't owned by Dana White, the one who made the fight you just watched happen, the one who got your hero Katie Taylor paid. That's who.
Well, I mean, Jake hit him with some facts right there, some hard facts. Because those fights might have been shams, but Conor ain't won none of his real fights, so he lost the sham fight that he had too.
Yo, can we get a Conor Jake Paul fight?
Listen, I like this guy. I'm starting to like this guy.
I do. Yeah, I do. Shout out to Jake Paul, man.
I just want them to stop pretending he's a real fighter.
Yeah.
Listen, I think he's got enough work in. Javante Davis was talking about this on I Am Athlete. They asked him about Jake Paul. He said, "Look, you do enough fights, after a while, you're going to develop some skill, right? Yeah, so he could probably hit by now. Like he could, he's not great, but like put him against put him in a real fight. Is basically what you're saying. Put him in a real fight, and he'll probably do well against those lower tier fighters. I think a fight with him and Connor would be great.
I bet you if you put him in with any real fighter who is actually in his weight class, he'll get knocked out instantly. Now, but I'll say this: if he ever does that, then you can call him a real fighter. But he has not taken a real fight yet.
He's a lot bigger than Connor, though, isn't he?
He is. He's a lot bigger than everybody he's fought.
Yeah.
Which is the part of the problem.
Yeah. And he knows that. He knows how to put on a show.
We saw that apparently or allegedly a couple of women tried to attack Shakur Stevenson's mother, and he ran off to try to save her.
Now, what was that about? Which one are you reading, B?
I'm reading Rock. He says the point is the money in female boxing was there when Shields and Ali were negotiating with the network back in Shields. Ali didn't want to settle for the $1 million back then. Okay, but it never happened. This is the first time that you've had both fighters make $1 million in a female fight.
I don't even think she wanted $3 million. I think she was asking for 10.
But yeah, I understand. I understand what you're saying, Rock. But it's not on Ali to get everybody paid, right? Like she was older by then. Clarissa is clearly the better fighter by then, and Ali has got other things going on. So she's looking at it and saying, all right, if I'm gonna get my head caved in, I want to get paid for it. Otherwise, I got other things that are making me money. I don't need that.
And if you're gonna go at Layla Ali talking about she pimped her father's name, that would be why she was getting that money, right? That's not what's happening with Katie Taylor. Katie Taylor is here on her skill.
Pure skill and heart and determination. Jesus, man. She was fighting boys. She had to cut her hair, change her name, and say, I'm a dude. I'm a dude. And she was out there fighting guys until they changed the law to let women fight.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Shout out to Katie Taylor, man. All heart. But I think she lost that fight tonight, though.
Kendall Gill? Jake tried to front on Kendall Gill? Like the basketball player Kendall Gill? What is going on?
Kendall's an MMA fighter now, isn't he?
Is he?
He did. Right. I think he had a small fight, a small run at it.
This is true, fans. Jake Paul can be up a regular Joe, but if he fight Joe Smith Jr., Joe would KO'd him. Yeah. He knows that. Yeah, Jake Paul's not stupid. That's what's so funny about this. He's not stupid, right? He knows a real boxer will floor him. So he's not fighting real boxers. He's fighting MMA fighters, and they have that agreement like, hey, I'm going to win this fight, right? This is going to be the biggest payday you've ever seen. And they're like, yep.
And Ali was talking to Clarissa because Clarissa called herself the GOAT. Yeah, I mean, old athletes do that to new athletes all the time.
Yeah.
That's wanting to stay in the spotlight. Sometimes it's being bitter. Sometimes it's just for fun.
Do you not listen to Timothy Bradley every fight?
Or Chuck and Shaq and Gary Payton or anybody who played basketball in the 90s?
I mean, Chuck calls people losers and he's never won anything.
Every other week. What you know about winning rings, Chuck?
I hear you, Rock.
Speaking of Tim Bradley, I was caught off guard that he's only 38 years old.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I figured he was 40 at least.
Because he talks like a old fighter, like, oh, back in my
day.
He
looks old. Like, I mean, he looks older than 38.
Yeah, he got an old look to him. Yeah, he retired early. That's another one. You want to talk about ducking? He didn't want that Errol Spence fight. Okay. Yeah. We were talking about ducking season. Yeah, he's got venom in his voice. He says Bradley's the worst. Yeah, look, you gotta have. He's passionate. I'll give him that. I think he's a little too passionate tonight because every hit he's like, "Oh,
I thought Joe
Yeah.
Rogan was calling it.
yeah."
Yeah.
Those ESPN announcers, man,
Yeah, well trained.
they're a little over the top with it sometimes, man. Like
Yeah.
every top ranked fighter, you would think they're the best fighters to walk
Mhm.
the face of the planet. Yeah,
I think I figured out why Andre Ward doesn't attend the fights.
why is that?
You notice that? Did you see why Mel Kiper wasn't at the draft?
No.
Well, I know you two be tripping on this stuff, but all right, whatever. So, Mel didn't attend the draft because he wasn't vaccinated.
Mm.
And I wonder if, ESPN is like, hey, you're not vaccinated, you can't come to these things in person. Because, like, Ward, I mean, all right, I get, the Fury fight. Yeah, I'm not traveling over there.
Yeah.
But they were in Vegas, and he's in Cali. So that's a car trip away.
Yeah.
And he's not, and he hasn't been in person in a minute. And
Yeah.
I was always wondering why. But after seeing the reason why because Mel, if you go to his Twitter, he released a statement on why he wouldn't be in person at the draft this year, and it was because he's not vaccinated. So it only made sense that's why Andre Ward.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
I haven't watched Mel Kiper in many years.
Yeah.
So I did not know that he was not even there. I haven't watched Mel since we reached the date where he was supposed to retire for being wrong about Jimmy Clausen, and he pretended it never happened.
Yeah, he lied to you.
Yeah,
that's what it is. Mm-hmm. All right, next week, Canelo versus Bivol. I went back and watched the Bivol taste, man, and the more I watch, the more I'm thinking this is gonna be an early night. Like, I just don't think Bivol's there yet. He's skilled, but he's got some holes in his game, man. I think Bivol needs more work. Right? If he had a little bit more experience, I think he'd be more dangerous for Canelo. But just watching him fight, I don't think he has anything for him.
Mike has frozen and he is back.
Oh, okay. What I tell you about Utah? What I tell you about YouTube? What I tell you?
And Rock thinks Bivol can get him.
No,
I don't know.
Nah, man. I mean, look, anything can happen. I'm not expecting that though. I'm expecting another dominating performance from Canelo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, all right. So that's next week. Then after that, are we finishing up our streak of fights? Is there anything else after that?
I know Tank is later in the month.
Tank, yeah.
I don't know if there's anything the week after. I mean, there's a UFC fight the week after Canelo, Charles Oliveira and Justin Gaethje, which Mike will be an expert on.
Yes.
So wait, Rock. When you type in QTR, are you meaning OTR?
Yeah. I think that's what he means. It's OTR, bro.
I've been so confused. I'm sorry.
I didn't notice that.
Just like you schooled us that it's Rock. It's OTR, bro.
Yeah. OTR stands for off the record. Okay, off the record. Yeah. OTR, off the record podcast. That's Mikey's other.
I'm sitting here googling. I'm like, yo, what does QTR mean? Like, I was like, is there somebody in the chat I can't see? I don't.
Yeah. Off the record podcast. That's what that stands for.
But yeah, Rock. That's why Mel wasn't at the. He was at home during the draft.
He's asking who's the other Russian fight in that. Are you talking about Beterbiev? I don't know how to. I never pronounce it properly.
Beterbiev.
It's all good, Rock. I'm just messing with you, bro. Oh, you know what? There is a fight. The following week.
Who is it?
Charlo.
Who's he fighting?
Castando.
Did we lose the rematch? Yeah, because
I thought we lost you just now. I'm about to say, man, you two trying to play games, man. So our streak. Listen, we still have, including next
I
week.
think that's the end of our streak.
We got 4. We got 4 weeks. We got 4 weeks, man. We got 4 more weeks. We got Canelo next week, Charlo the following week, Tank the week after that, and Haney and Cambosis the week after that.
No, Tank is 2 weeks after. It's 2 weeks after.
You're right. Okay. You're right.
But so it'll be nice to have that one little break, and then it's almost a month and a half, a little bit longer until Usyk and Anthony Joshua.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we'll have some stuff recorded, not live. We'll have some recorded stuff to put out. Doing look, we have tons of topics that we want to get to. It's just this streak of fights that been coming up. Kind of
Hendo must not be in here applying pressure.
yeah, because the plan wasn't to live stream this week, but Hendo made that happen. So thank Ravens Online Gatekeepers for that. Okay.
Yeah. Weezy. We got to fight B every week during this streak to get him in here, man.
Wow. Okay, it's like that, huh?
All right. I think that's it. We can Fair says give me that content, man. Listen, if you're following us everywhere, you've had nothing but content since Tuesday or Wednesday. Yeah.
And I do want to mention also real quick before we get out of here, I'm going to put this up. This is from our other show, Lunch Break Hot Take, this graphic, but head to patreon.com/LBHT show. We did put up a couple of tiers for Ring Kings specifically.
Yes.
We have a $3 tier, a $10 tier, and a $20 tier. The $20 tier gets you kind of everything for both shows. The $10 tier, the $3 tier is just general support for the show. The $10 tier is going to get you a custom set of poker cards, a deck of cards that we haven't produced that have our top 25 fighters on the cards from our top 25 video series. And like I said, the $20 tier will get you that along with the LBHT crew coin.
Yes.
I don't know if you have yours there, Jose.
I have it right here. That's what it looks like right there. Bam. Yes.
And if you're into fantasy football or anything like that, that'll get you into our fantasy football league and other things. But you can check out patreon.com/LBHT show. There's an explanation of all the tiers right there on the site.
All right. Yeah, indeed, man. And thank you guys for the support so far. We got more content. We have a lot more content for you guys, man. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button.
I'm sorry. It's like, I know it's his name, but it's so disrespectful to me every time somebody calls him Cinnamon.
Give me that work while he up.
Talking about
Yeah. That'd be a more challenging fight, but nah, he picked the right one. I just don't think when I saw from Bivol, he could surprise me. I don't think he's ready for that. I don't think he's ready.
Bivol's tough, but he hasn't fought nothing like this. Yeah. He got a puncher's chance, but Canelo gonna overwhelm this kid, man.
Yeah. All right, man. Like I said, great fight, and like you said, great performance by Stevenson.
Yes.
I'm really sad that Katie Taylor and Serrano card went down the way it did. That took away from it.
I got one more question for you guys before we get out of here. Is Stevenson in the top 10 pound for pound now after this fight? Is he on that list?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
I had to think about the pound for pound list. Is that another show? Is that another show idea? The current pound for pound list?
Yes.
Yeah. We should probably have like a running list. We could update from time to time. Oh, hey, you guys. Hey,
Rock says he's got him at 10.
Okay. All right.
So you bump it. So the current ESPN top 10 is Canelo, Crawford, Inoue. I think I said his name right.
Oh, the monster. Yeah, Inoue. Yep.
Errol Spence, Usyk, Fury, Lomachenko. I don't know how he stays on it. I don't know how
I don't know.
Juan Francisco Estrada. Josh Taylor. I don't know how he's still on this list after that last fight. And Tank Davis. Is that?
Yeah, so Ferris is asking who to take off. Taylor, Fury, Lomachenko, and
was Fury on that list?
Even Estrada.
Yeah, Fury was on here.
Yeah, I won't put Fury.
I would take. I could take off any one of those guys and put Stevenson in.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Our views across the pond would crush us for that Fury take, but
I don't know why Fury's on there, Rock.
So you're telling me so any Fury defender, you're telling me if he was in any other weight class, he'd be dominant? No.
I don't mind Fury being on the list, but some of these other cats, like
I mind Fury being on the list. He ain't beat nobody.
Lomachenko at 7.
Loma got he's got 2 losses and 16 fights. Like, yes. What do you mean?
I mean, Estrada hasn't fought in a year.
So he could be off just for inactivity.
And he's still at 8. Josh Taylor, to me, lost the last fight at 9. Yeah. And then Tank. Well, they have Taylor and Tank tied at 9.
All right. Say less, Mikey. This is gonna be a video. We're gonna put out. True. Yeah, we're not live streaming it. We're gonna record this. We're gonna do a rankings pound for pound list, top 10 pound for pound list. Maybe that'll be a weekly or a month, not weekly, maybe a monthly thing. We'll put out a pound for pound list or quarterly, whatever.
Yeah.
But we'll see. But be on the lookout for that. But in the meantime, you guys can leave a comment and give us your pound for pound list. You know, everybody's watching live, anybody that watches this replay. All right.
Yeah.
What was that? The 4 was Sugar Ray Robinson. Pound for pound with Sugar Ray Robinson.
Yeah.
Well, take a look at our 25 all-time list and we'll let you know where he ranks.
I tried to make that happen, but forces were against me on that one, Rock.
Yeah.
I agree, Ferris. It is, and it's sad. It's sad that ESPN makes it that obvious, but come on, bro.
Yeah. I mean, you got a contract with Top Rank. It's not going to be long before Ali's grandson's on that list. Just 2 more knockouts, and they're going to be like, well, I mean, he's rising fast.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys, we're going to end it there. Thank you guys for hanging out with us at 2 a.m. in the morning. My God.
Yeah.
And this fight ended earlier.
Week, bro.
Yeah.
A long week.
All right. So you guys get some rest. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Pretty soon we're gonna have a little outro music, huh?
Yes.
Yeah. We're gonna have a little something in store for you guys. So all right, get some rest. Next week, maybe there might be a stream. We'll see.
We'll go out on that.
Did you know? Fun fact: Nico Ali Walsh is Muhammad Ali's grandson. Mind blown.
I just found out.
All right, Rock. Man, thank you for coming through, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Have a good night. We'll see you next time. Peace out.